Today, we once again delve into the mind of a canine.
No one to walk with, all by myself. No one to talk with, but I'm happy on a shelf. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you. I know for certain the one that I love. I'm through with flirting, it's just you I'm thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, saving my
Before we begin today, we have an announcement. We have decided to put some of the stories we share with you here on Window Read into print form. Yes, we're going to publish Window Read short stories in paperback on Amazon and Kindle. So, to all of you authors who want to see your short story in print, email it to windowread@gmail.com. If your story is selected, we will read it on the channel and then publish it in one of our future books. More to come on this later, but get your stories in right away. Now to our story. Anna Kurian is an accountant, wife, mother, artist, painter, gardener, teacher, and a financial coach. Years ago, she enjoyed writing poetry, but life took over and she put writing aside. Last year, she joined a writing group at a local library and began writing again. Today, we are reading another of her stories called The Journey Begins. My story begins in D.C. My mom, Isabella, is a beautiful Catahoula hound, and she has the most amazing merle blue coat, just like mine. My dad? Well, I don't really know who that is. I never met him. My siblings? Again, who knows? Since I was the cutest little pup, I got adopted when I was very tiny. This guy, whose name was Senator, and his lovely wife, Babe Honey, at least that's what he called her, lived in their fancy mansion. They say she was a demo cat. Maybe she loved cats. Not really sure, but obviously he was not a demo cat because they fought all the time. He was a bush guy. No idea why he loved the bush so much. I pee on bushes all the time. Well, it must not be a demo cat thing. My room in the mansion had a huge TV. Sometimes I climbed up on top of the TV to see if I could find the humans inside it, but I never did. How does that thing talk so much? I hit it with my paws, and it squealed on me and became even louder. What a hopeless thing. My bed was this plush chaise with a leopard skin cover, which was super soft, but after a long day's work, I much rather prefer sleeping on the floor. Besides, I hated waking up in the middle of the night, startled and thinking that I was next to a leopard. Needless to say, I liked it best when I could lay on the Persian rug by the fireplace in the living room. I chewed the rug while they got drunk and fought. My life was really boring. They named me Lucky. I don't think that name suited me. In fact, I hated it. It sounded so condescending. Every time they called out, "Lucky, come here," I ran the other way. And every time I did that, they stuck a leash on me. That hurts. Senator tried to bribe me with treats, but I did not like the treats either. Babe Honey just ignored me, like I didn't exist. Such was my unlucky life. The highlight of my day was my daily walks. Senator and Babe Honey hired a young woman to accompany me on my daily walks, 3 times a day. She was pretty, with that bright orange hair, green sunglasses, and guess what her favorite color of lipstick was? Bright pink. Oh, and she had these large round rings with blue tags that hung from her ears. Maybe they were her rabies tags. She always wore tight skirts and tall black boots. I think her boots smelled like cows. And when she walked, she sounded like a horse. Click, clop, clip, clop, click, clop. I didn't really care for that sound because it gave me a headache. But I liked her swagger, so I learned to walk like that. Her name was Ha. She chewed gum like a cow and was on the phone all the time. And every time it rang, she would say, Ha! That must have been her name. If someone called me on the phone, I would probably say hello and then give my name. But she just said, Ha! Now, Babe Honey was an actress, and she had lots and lots of clothes in every closet, and so many shoes. Unbelievable! A pair in almost every color. I loved the tall, colorful shoes. They looked like a horse's hoof attached to a chicken bone. When alone at home, I frequented her shoe closet just to check her shoe collection from time to time. The more I checked them out, the more my curiosity grew. And just to stay out of trouble, I decided to pick 2 of them, each a different color, and hide them under my bed. Couple days later, I picked a couple more. You never know which color might be better tasting. Every night, I thoroughly examined them. Finally, curiosity got the better of me. I couldn't contain myself and chewed up every one of those shoes. But none of them tasted good. There wasn't a chicken bone there. So I hid the chewed shoes behind the TV. This way, the people in the TV would get the blame, not me. Besides, Babe Honey never even missed them. Then I decided to check on those really tall boots in the shoe closet. They were even taller than me. When Babe Honey wore them, everyone looked at her. She looked like a human with horse hooves. So I decided to see how I would look if I tried them on. I have great legs, you know. But it was almost impossible for me to get my legs into those boots. They were twice as tall as me. So I trimmed them a little at a time, very carefully. My smashingly sharp teeth work like a surgeon's hands, and thus I finally got my leg into one of them. So uncomfortable, it must be hard to be a horse. The next morning, I woke up to loud screams coming from Babe Honey's closet. She was going ballistic. Who got into my Pradas? Where are my Jimmy Choos? It must be that little rascal. I did not understand the other name she called me. Was that me she was shouting about? My heart leapt into my mouth. I didn't even know those chicken wings had names like that. So I ran and hid under my bed. Oh no! I had forgotten I left those shredded boots on the floor of the closet. Now I was in trouble. She said I chewed her Pradas. I am indignant because I didn't. I just tried on her tall boots, and they weren't comfortable, period. So I was banned from Babe Honey's closet. I had to stay in my room, even though I had never met a Prada or a Jimmy Choo. I didn't even know what they were talking about. While exiled in my room, I decided it was time to get out of that awful gilded cage that was my home. I was going to find a new life for myself, one filled with adventure and travel. I could make friends easily, and I could eat whatever I wanted, live wherever I choose to. So I began to dream of freedom. Senator and Babe Honey wouldn't even miss me anyway. For the next few days, I was really sweet to Ha. I did everything just as she wanted me to. She kept telling me how good I was and how well trained I was. She started to let me walk beside her. Can you imagine? She trusted me, no leash. I trusted her back. I walked right beside her, and my wagging tail gave me away all the time. But I didn't care, because I had a plan. It was a September morning, and I greeted Ha with such joy she had no idea that this was my personal Independence Day. I jumped up to greet her as she bent down to greet me, and I licked her pink lipstick. Yuck! Tasted awful, but my tail just kept wagging because I was so happy to see her. As we walked out the door, again with no leash, I casually picked up Babe Honey's orange leather gloves. No one noticed. I figured I would gift them to Ha. She was on the phone as usual and didn't notice a thing. As we were about to cross a street, the traffic light turned red. I dropped the gloves and darted across the street. Ha could not catch me. She had to stop to pick up the gloves, and then she had to wait till the traffic light turned green. So I took off like the wind, and after a long jog, I found myself far away from anyone that I knew. I felt such joy, but will miss Ha. Then, at a McDonald's, I shared a drink, some delightful French fries, and half a hamburger with a little toddler. That was so cool, I decided I'd take a siesta in a little corner of the children's playground. I fell asleep because I was so tired. Later that evening, I woke up to unfamiliar sounds around me, cars and trucks, and people walking. It took me a few seconds to realize that now I was on my own. My adventure was just about to begin. I was finally free. My next adventure begins soon. Hope you will join me. Until next time, ciao.
I ain't misbehaving, honey. I'm saving all my love for you. For you, just